The prize is he's going to sing a song to one of their mothers. So if they win, Brad will personally sing a song to one of your moms. What's up, Team NBL? It's Music by Lucas. We are here on the next stop for the Teamwork Tour in Drummond-and-Droghett, Scotland.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Got it right, guys. We are here with Mia Vano, or as you also know them, In the Mix.
I'm Mike, this is Brad. You might know us from our channel In the Mix. We share production tips, advice, mixing, stuff like that. And today we're just going to talk about 5 mixing tips that we hope you guys can apply in your songs.
We get a lot of questions on this channel about mixing. You guys are always asking me, how do you mix a lead? How do you do this? How do you do that? And I thought, who better to ask about mixing than In the Mix? I mean, it's kind of in the name, right?
Well, we'll try our best. Yeah.
Also, guys, we did an epic video on their channel, so after you're done with this one, of course, you gotta head over to their channel. First link in the description and subscribe. And make sure you guys stay tuned to the end of this video because In the Mix is giving away a huge prize for our Teamwork Tour giveaway, and you don't want to miss it. And now it is time for the 5 best mixing tips. That was exciting.
Now, there's no rules, and that's the first point, is that you can be bold and you can be new and innovative, and you don't have to follow any set rules. These are just guidelines, things that we figured out, things that other people have figured out and we've learned from. Lucas talks about this quite a lot, trying to find your sound, fitting into a genre, but then finding your own niche. And it's good to just push plugins, try effects, try absolutely everything, because with DAWs these days you can just add stuff and just take it away. Almost nothing's really like set in stone.
Mesto said it too, and a lot of these producers say the same thing. Jay Hardway, just like that they're not big technical people. They don't know all the different buttons, what all of them do, but they just tweak stuff until it kind of sounds right. Yeah. And I think that's important because it's not about knowing the exact terms, and a lot of people are like really critical about you if you don't know all the right terms. But if your music sounds good, that's really what matters. And it's important to just kind of mess with those knobs until you find something that you really like.
And I'd say, just to round off that tip, it's probably rare that you would just copy exactly what someone else has done, do exactly the tips they have, turn all the same dials as them, and end up being like super successful out of it. You really do have to find your own style, which is something that we're experimenting with, and it's something that Lucas is settling into as well, his own style.
What we have found has helped us a lot when we're making music is if we pick a kind of style for a song and we think, right, what other songs do we already know that have something similar? So whether it's a male vocal singing in the same register or the same energy or something like that, and use other people's tracks as references. You know, everything comes from inspiration in one way or another, and there's nothing wrong with dragging someone else's track into your DAW and playing it alongside. You're going to be able to tell when your track is starting to sound as professional as the others because you've got them to compare directly.
Okay, so tip number 3 is all about managing your kick and bass. Lauren. Tip 3 is all about getting your kick to sound really punchy and full in your track, and this is more aimed at beginners because I know that when we started, we viewed a kick as a very like sub-element, a very low element, and sort of like a very boomy thing, and you sort of keep adding to it, and you're wondering how on earth do these other professional producers make their kick sound really like tight and really punchy and crispy, all these sort of words that are thrown around. But basically just getting this balance between your kick. If you listen critically, like in point 2, often the kick can be more of a mid and a high range element in a track than it is actually a sub-low element. So sometimes combining 2 kicks, having like a low kick that you take the high end out of, or a high kick that you take the low end out of, and sort of fading their volumes together can give you that sort of punchy nature. Obviously things like compression and EQ add to this, but sometimes just picking the right samples and sort of rewriting how you view the kick and bass interaction, because often a kick is a lot more high end. I was just listening to a few unreleased tracks that Lucas has shown us, and they're actually fantastic. And
I'll pay him later.
No, I mean it.
They are sounding really
you guys
good.
have got a lot of stuff to look forward to. The way the bass and the kick is managed sounds very professional, and that's out of our speakers, which sound fantastic and they're very accurate. And the way he's managed the kick in it especially is very, very special because it really punches through. It's really what I would call tight and crispy almost. I mean, it's not like distorted or anything. You know, you show your friends a song on your phone, or you show it on like their laptop, and you're like, no, there is a kick. Like, you know, and you're like, no, it's there. Like, you're following it, and it's not. And it's because especially on the devices people listen to today, the bass is often lacking, so it
Right.
can be good to...
Another problem is if you have like a really kind of subby kick without a top end, you'll find yourself continually raising the volume on it to try to get it so you can actually hear it. So you don't have to have your friends be like, where's the kick? And the problem with that is it makes it sound muddy because it's not supposed to be that loud. And then you get a bunch of low frequencies and they're just like...
Low frequencies are, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows this in a struggle, but low frequency management is crazy. Like the way the sound waves pattern, interact with each other, it can be a nightmare sometimes fixing that mud. Tip number 4 is all about how you have your speakers set up. Now, you've probably noticed the speakers behind us. We've got one of them on stands, and then one of them are actually sitting on top of our other speakers, the Rockets. That's just because we don't have any speaker stands, so we're just using the Rockets as stands in the meantime.
Use your Rockets as stands.
It works.
Actually raising your speakers to the right height so that the tweeters are sort of at the same level as your ears changes everything about how the speakers sound. The little black Mackie speakers behind us, they sound great, but when we put them on our desk, everything just sounds muddy and it's so difficult to mix that low end. Plug, we have a video on speaker positioning, so like if you want to check that out, I'm sure we can link that in the description.
We've definitely learned the hard way in this instance, because when we started, we were doing stuff in our university bedroom or down in the living room in a corner.
And I'm telling you, those
songs
sounded amazing in our university bedroom,
but they suffered
and then
so much.
They sounded terrible everywhere else.
And it's going to sound super basic and kind of elementary to a lot of you guys watching, but if you don't have the ability to be able to have one of these pairs of speakers or to, you know, get a nice speaker stand, that kind of thing, I think the best thing you can do is to use a lot of different types of speakers that you have as reference, from your laptop to your iPhone. Find a good balance. That's the thing. It's not about like, oh, it sounds really good in my car. If it just sounds good in your car, it's not a good mix. It's about, does it sound good on everything? Like for me, that's the test. Right before I put a track out or send it to labels, whatever, if it doesn't sound amazing on the iPhone, on the laptop speakers, it should always sound good, because any other professional track, there's no track, like you can't find a track from Martin Garrix and be like, doesn't sound good on the laptop. It's gonna sound good.
All I wouldn't want to happen is for people who are new to this to think that they have to spend so long trying to get their first few songs sounding the same as the best in the world. Don't think too unrealistically, because it's fine. Your first mix doesn't have to sound incredible. Better when you're starting out to get used to it. Keep practicing. Move on to the next song, but just get good at finishing your songs as well, because you can spend a long time just continuously trying to polish. I don't want to say polish a turd, but you know what I mean.
The 5th and final point in this video is all about acoustic treatment, or sort of looking at your room and using it appropriately. When we started, we didn't have acoustic treatment. We didn't even have the option of putting it up, but if we'd known about it, we would have tried our best to use acoustic treatment. How your room sounds, especially if you're using speakers, will alter every decision you make. All the sound you hear from your speakers is bouncing off the walls, the ceiling, the floor, your desk, and then it's hitting your ears. So if you use acoustic treatment, it can clean up all of this noise and mess, and you can actually hear your speakers the way they're intended. When we take all of our acoustic treatment out of this studio, we've got foam, we've got bass traps, absorption panels. If we clap, or even if we just talk, there's so much reverberation and resonance. So what that means, that say you're mixing a clap in a build-up of a track, for instance, if you don't have the acoustic treatment and your room sounds really bright and reverberant, you'll probably add less reverb to it and you'll add less high end to it. But then if you try to show your friend it, or you're listening in a car, which isn't a very bright place to listen, your clap's just going to be like super, it's not gonna be bright. We have a video showing how to make acoustic treatment. These panels, we might hold one up or something, they cost about $20 or $30 each. And they're just amazing. They've changed the way the way we mix.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fly you guys out to LA, and you're gonna just do all the acoustic treatment for my studio.
Yeah, sure.
You pay for it, man. Gladly. Let's do it.
If you can, just move your speakers into another room and play the same song. You will hear the difference, and it is amazing how much of a difference it makes. And so if you don't have to spend loads of money on it to make a difference. Like when Mike and I were producing in a bedroom, we would take our duvets and pillows and put them up against the window. We'd pin things to the roof. We would, I don't know, we would just do what we could with what we had, and that's what we always do. All
right, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed In The Mix, talking about, of course, mixing, duh. And if you like In The Mix, if you like what you heard today, give this video a thumbs up. And remember to head over to their channel, because we did a video with them about record labels and how to promote your music, and you definitely want to check it out. Alright guys, I am so pumped. If you stayed to the end of this video, you are about to find out something epic. What prize are you guys giving away for the tour giveaway?
Since Brad and I are FL Studio Power users, we thought, well, what better thing to give away than a full copy of FL Studio 12 Producer Edition with lifetime free updates. So that's the first thing we're going to be giving away.
Awesome.
It's the DAW we use. And the second thing we're giving away are 2 of our custom sample packs. So one is a deluxe sample pack with all of our kicks, loops, drums, bass loops, snares, all of that good stuff that we use in our songs,
Yeah.
and also a second smaller sample pack just that has loads of hi-hats for your
Wow.
production.
3 prizes, guys. Remember, if you've already entered in the tour giveaway, you can still pick up daily bonus entries, so head back over to teammbl.com/tour.
If you guys want to ask us any questions about any of the things we talked about today, or any other queries you have about mixing or just music production in general, you can find both of our Instagram links in the description, hopefully.
Yeah, and remember, guys, it's all about teamwork. We got new videos every Wednesday and Friday, so if you're not a member of the team yet, be like in the mix and hit that subscribe button. All right, I'm Music by Lucas,
I'm Mike.
I'm Brad.
and we'll see you next video.
Bye for now.
Bye. Also, at the end, they're
No.
gonna fight to the death.